Welcome to Let's Get Real with Tina, Bill.
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Let's Get Real and I'm Tina Bill. I am so happy you decided to join me again today. Last podcast was a little intense, I will agree, but I'm telling you, this stuff is much needed, guys. We need to understand how manipulation works, how spiritual control by the enemy works in our lives, because how do you eradicate it? By learning about it. So I'm super excited to get started today. We're going to talk about what does a manipulator do? A manipulator can cause unnecessary emotional situations, stress and strain. They blow things out of proportion. They take things out of context. They use divisive and deceptive words in order to get their way. It doesn't matter if it leaves the person being manipulated sad, confused, blaming themselves for something that really wasn't their fault. Unfortunately, oftentimes the manipulator is actually looking for that emotional response. A manipulator causes chaos, strife in a family, a home, a business, or even a workplace. A manipulator is only out for themselves. They are not usually a team player. They criticize, they mock, or make fun of people, and the end result is to get their way. When you decide you've had enough and it's time to break loose from a manipulator, there will be people who go with you and there will be people, unfortunately, you leave behind. The people that will go with you are the ones that when you bring this to their attention and because of the humility and Holy Spirit, they see the manipulating spirit that is at work within themselves and they choose to begin the process of self-examination. They begin to start working on themselves. They will desire to be set free from the demonic spirit, the manipulating spirit. And of course, those who will be the ones you leave behind are the ones that when you bring it to their attention, of course, out of love, they rebel. They refuse to believe they are a manipulator being used by this demonic spirit. Then you have to make a choice to either continually be manipulated and fall into the tangled web they are weaving, or you move on, love them from afar, and pray for them. Do you stop loving or caring about them? No, but you cannot be tormented by people who are tormented themselves and choose to continue in that web. So again, who are these manipulators? Well, usually a manipulator is an unhappy, possibly jealous person. They may even cheat or scheme to get their way. They may be successful to the natural eye and our natural world, achieving high expectations. But their insecurities, low self-esteem, and unhappiness drive them to manipulate others. Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive, by Sir Walter Scott. I quoted that in the first podcast, Christian Witchcraft. So if you haven't listened to that podcast, please go back and listen to that. It is also very unfortunate because when a person learns how to manipulate others in order to get the results they are expecting or wanting, it becomes extremely hard to break that pattern. Why is that? Well, I'm glad you asked. Because when they want to get their way, the manipulating spirit inside of them whispers, you could just say this or you could just do that, and then you will get what you want. So the big question is, are you operating under the spirit of witchcraft? In my study, I told you guys I've done my research, and I would encourage you to do the same. You don't have to take my word for it. Go do your research. There are 3 main points in which supports the intentions of witchcraft. And the number 1 point is manipulation. And before I went into a study specifically, the word manipulation and Christian witchcraft came to my mind. So you can imagine when I was studying this out and found these 3 points, and the first one being manipulation, I knew I was on the right track. The second point is intimidation. And the third is domination. And maybe we will continue this podcast with intimidation and domination. In the future, maybe the next two. So we'll see. But in my opinion, worse than even falling prey or victim to being a manipulator or being manipulated is the denial of either one. Our goal is to learn about ourselves in a way that we can be delivered and set free, as well as becoming set free from those who are trying to control us by the demonic manipulating spirit. There are those that we will have to love from a distance, and there are those we will completely dissolve all relationship and communication with. The intentions of the manipulator will need to be assessed. Is the person intentionally manipulating? If so, is it someone who has the ability to overcome and would want to overcome this by the work and help of the Holy Spirit? Or is this person someone who actually is evil and wicked and has no intentions of being set free from the manipulating spirit? The latter would be the one that you completely dissolve all relationship with so that you are not oppressed and bogged down by their continual manipulating behavior. I will tell you from personal experience, the manipulating spirit will even cloud your vision and stop your ears from being able to hear from Holy Spirit. And that may be another podcast also. Matthew 5:37 is very clear. It reads, just say a simple yes, I will, or a simple no, I won't. Anything beyond this is from the evil one. Now, there are many translations, and I would say go read them all. Basically, they say the same thing. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. There should not be any words in between. No, manipulation is necessary. God is not a manipulator. He doesn't try to use cunning, shifty words in order for us to be disciples of Christ. He gives us a firm foundation as to why it is profitable for us to follow Christ. He does not have to try to convince us with deception or trickery. No witchcraft needed there. So let's say that you convince someone with your manipulating spirit to change their mind or do something to fulfill your wishes, knowing that they really didn't want to do what you had either asked them or told them or manipulated them to do. I'm the kind of person that I want someone to make a decision out of their own heart, love, and respect for me. What kind of victory have you won if you have to manipulate someone to do as you wish? If their heart really isn't in it, the prize is worthless. It is not a sincere, dedicated reward. To someone who has evil in their heart, that may be all they need. But to a person who may be a victim of the manipulating spirit, they will know that by getting their way, it was not done because the other person truly wanted to. It was done by force and, in essence, invaluable. So I ask you to ponder. Take account for those in your life who are close to you, even yourself. Are you a manipulator? Are you manipulated by someone? So guys, I'm going to end this podcast, and I pray that you take account of your life, be honest, be humble, and allow Holy Spirit to speak to you. All right, until next time.